Hello everyone, I just wanted to showcase this very interesting design for this MXM GPU from around 2008 I think. So this is a Core2Duo machine with DDR2. This is a GT 9600, which is a GPU that is very noted for suffering of premature death because of overheating for the solder joints. It used to die a lot on MacBooks, for example, the 2008, 2007 and 2008 MacBooks. In this Asus machine, they implemented this very interesting design for the cooling, which is this slot cooling here. It goes inside here. Just trust me, it does. There's the fan, and the GPU sits on top. It's all together by the four heatsink screws back there, and yeah, and then this on this side you actually have a very simple fin design, no heat pipes, nothing like that. It's quite cheap, but I really like it. It's very dirty inside. I'm gonna clean up and probably gonna take out this part of the metal and make sure that this metal here goes into contact with this surface, which is also metal, with some thermal pads to improve thermal conductivity on the top of the machine. Let's see. Thermal pads are shaped with a little bit of trial and error, and I can close this. And we're now ready for assembly back with new thermal paste. And here we are with the machine fully working. It took a long time for everything to work properly. At the beginning we were having a strange issue where the machine would just, after 5 to 10 minutes, lock up, and then would start to boot loop, and we couldn't figure out. We thought it was a problem with the drivers, with Windows drivers or anything like that, but it also did the same after maybe 20 to 30 minutes on Linux. And so this was after, of course, repasting the CPU, and it turned out that the problem was probably the chipset or something around the chipset area that was overheating. So we had to properly cool the whole machine by taking apart the motherboard and placing a lot of thermal pads on the back of the motherboard. And now the system can run for hours as long as you actually use it, because if you stop using it, if you let it sleep something, it takes like 1 to 2 minutes to wake up. So the system is of course undervolted. We swapped the CPU, the original Core, I think it was a 5250 Core2Duo. We put a T9400 inside, undervolted to 1.125 millivolts. The power, the package power is I would say around probably 25 watts here, and from that measured from the wall, the machine uses about 40 to 50 watts at idle and 70 watts when full loaded. And the clock is fixed to the maximum turbo boost limit, so as you can see, the multiplier is set to 10, and this is the only way. Like with the throttle stop on those old machines, you can only set a static voltage and a static multiplier, otherwise undervolt doesn't really work. And anyway, the voltage that I have set now for the full turbo 10x multiplier is still lower than the lowest voltage for the CPU when it was idling at 6.0 multiplier. The machine is very responsive for being a 2008 machine. Another really important trick for this machine to actually be usable by the end user was to swap of course the Wi-Fi card, but to save money and to get a Wi-Fi card that was actually cheap, actually free for her, we put this Wi-Fi card. This is a 3 antenna wireless card from a iMac 2011. You know, the ones that always have the GPU falling apart. So that was free because I had this 3 antenna Wi-Fi card laying around. And the driver is fairly old, from 2016, but it still works. I had to wire an additional antenna inside, but the speed test is now very good. Previously, with the original Wi-Fi card, internet would work, but it would disconnect every other minute, and the speed was around 2 to 3 megabit per second, while now it's, well, I show you, it should be around 70. And my Wi-Fi Wi-Fi router is very far away from the machine. Wow, I didn't really remember that good. So yeah, this Wi-Fi card made a huge difference. Even if the machine should be like CPU limited, of course the Wi-Fi card from 2008 was a huge bottleneck, and this Wi-Fi card from 2011 made a like night and day difference for internet usage. It's really good. It's really good. And yeah, it's only 4 gigs of RAM because this machine has DDR2, and DDR2 4 gigabyte sticks are very expensive, and I didn't want to spend on this. Of course, I'm using the bloated Windows installation, Windows X Lite, and as you can see, this is the latest Windows build that will work for this machine, and it's 23H2, because as you maybe know, where it shows here 23H2, maybe you know that, but 24H2 doesn't work anymore with Core2Duo machines. It requires at least an i7, or i3, but at least like a 2009 Nehalem CPU. I had to install like older Photoshop and Lightroom for them to work properly. 2020 Photoshop and Lightroom Classic. I did stress test the GPU once. I didn't want to stress it more because, of course, this GPU, as previously stated, tend to die because of the bad solder inside them. I did everything I can to make sure that the machine will last, but I still don't want to stress test it for no reason. And I guess, yeah, that's all, really. I might show you some benchmark results. Let's do that. And here there are. Cinebench R15. Named 98 degrees maximum temperature. And Geekbench 6. 300 single core and 500 multi-core. And yes, I guess that is all for the video. So, ciao!